Hey everybody, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about approvals because I know personally from being in the RevOps side as well as sales management side and also working a lot with sales reps, approvals can be one of the biggest challenges. It's a time when you need to move fast to get a deal done, and traditional ways that approvals are done in a lot of businesses that we meet with, they use Slack, they send one-off emails, or maybe they have some automation, they use Salesforce approvals. The drawback with these is obviously with Slack, it's a siloed communication. It's not in the context of the deal, so you got to provide a bunch of the context as part of the communication. And the challenge with Salesforce approvals, in my experience, often they're very difficult to understand. It's hard to understand who the approval sits with. It's hard to understand why the approval is happening, and so it can be a challenge. So I wanted to show you what it looks like in DealHub, right? I would say it's all about making both the manager and the salesperson's experience as easy as possible to recognize what's going on. So I'm kind of starting out from the approvals overview. This is what you'd see if you're a rep or if you're a sales manager or another approver in the business, right? So I can see all the approvals that are in place for this particular organization. If I have any sitting at my desk for approval, I go right here, I see it. Of course, I'd get an email, but I could go here to check them out. And then if I have any approvals out there for finance or something, they would show up there. So let's just dive into one of these quotes so you can see what it looked like from a rep's perspective, right? So I can see that these two are sitting in my desk. You'll notice I'm logged in as Chris Tate. Chris Tate is our CFO. So the CFO is looking. He can obviously approve or decline right here, but if he wants to, he can dive in, look at the proposal itself, get the context. Pops open, you can see exactly the approvals that are sitting out there. So it looks like there's a new customer credit check that's sitting with the CFO. I also see that Aiden has already approved, and you can see there's this in-context deal talk that happens. It can happen at any moment during the quoting process, and it looks like Ryan, the salesperson, pre-cleared an early termination with Aiden. Aiden is on the legal team. So Aiden said, yeah, sure, send it my way, and then Ryan submitted it for approval. So you don't have to hope that somebody will approve it. If I wanted to, I could approve it right here. I would send a message back to Ryan, let him know his deal's approved. But that is what it looks like from that side. If you want to look at it, let's look at it from the rep side in terms of when you're creating a quote. So I've got a quote open here. It's one of our fighter jets quotes, and you'll see it's got already the new customer credit check. And so it's really easy for the rep to identify, like, why is an approval happening? Who's it going to go to? If I step in here, let's say I want to give a 60% discount, I'll see the discount approval show up right away. It looks like that if it exceeds 20%, first it goes to Scott, then it goes to the CFO again, right? And so then I could submit this for approval. So what you're seeing is you're seeing a discount approval, you're seeing a business-related approval. I'll show you just briefly, how easy it is to set these up, right? That they're very straightforward. Let me flip over to the admin side of DealHub. Jump into workflows and validations. It's two types of workflows that we're going to look at. General workflows, which is discounting. It's very straightforward. Like I always say, DealHub's all about if-then statements, right? So in this instance, this rule always happens. But what you do is you set thresholds, right? And it's very easy to understand the hierarchy, right? So the sales rep can go up to 20%, sales manager can approve up to 40%, and then obviously the CFO has the final say, and they can approve up to 100%. So you could set up different parameters, like you could say, hey, if this is a reseller deal, I want these rules. If it's a direct deal, I want these rules. So it's easy to set up there. And then rule-based workflows are used a lot of times for business-related approvals. You can see I've got early termination, and basically have a simple rule that says, hey, if the rep selected early termination, it's going to apply that language. I want to give an approval. So you have the new customer credit check. This is actually reading off the Salesforce opportunity type. So just one more quick thing to show. Let's go back to the approver, right? Let's say Chris, he's out of town. He's like, gosh, I can't even think about this, right? One cool feature is you can hop in and you can delegate your approval. So you can do it in advance. If I knew I was going to be out, maybe I want a test person to approve everything, and I can apply it to existing workflows. So maybe I got the email, I'm sitting on the beach, like, gosh, I can't look at this. Just log in, delegate all my approvals, and then once I apply it, then test person can go in and approve for me. So that's just a quick look at how you set up approvals in DealHub. I know it's a big pain point for a lot of organizations. What I also say is with DealHub, you build incrementally. So start small and keep adding on, right? And so iteration after iteration, you can add more and more business logic. You start simple, let the organization get used to it, and then grow from there. Thanks a lot.